Hey Newlies, this is part 1 of our Forgiveness in Marriage series. My name is Kenya Nunez and we are going to jump right into it today. So what happens when how we feel is getting in the way of our decision to forgive? Because let's face it, forgiving is something we can choose to do. We are all capable of great levels of forgiveness. But oftentimes, at least for me anyway, how I feel can determine how, when, and if I forgive my spouse. Now, I have to be honest, waiting until my feelings catch up with what I know I should do is immature, and it will harm my marriage in the long run. If my husband offends me and it takes me a month to forgive him for the offense, that's probably going to be a rough month in one way or another. Yeah, I can try and hide the fact that I haven't forgiven him, but eventually I'll get bitter about it. And then I'll start being short with him. And then I'll start withholding from him. And then I'll resent him. Let's look at how our feelings get in the way of taking action with forgiveness. And I guess I'll start with the definition I gave for forgiveness from the intro video. One definition of forgiveness is to cease to feel resentment against an offender. How the heck do I stop my feelings? Depending on the issue, ceasing to feel how I feel can seem impossible. Sometimes my feelings have a mind of their own. You ever wish something didn't affect you, but it just does? Let's keep on looking because maybe there's an answer to this impossibility. Now, based on the definition still, let's look at other ways that forgiveness is an action that we can choose to make despite the state of our feelings. Forgive means to give up resentment of or claim to retaliation. Alrighty, your husband done betrayed your trust in some way or lied or stepped on your foot and you can't retaliate. You can't plot to get him back. Rather, you choose to let go of your indignant displeasure in regard to what he's done. What that mean? That persistent nagging feeling of ill will towards your husband, you have to let it go. Get over it. Maybe you're like me, who sometimes creates insurance claims in my mind about the things my husband has done. Many a time I've had to make up my mind to put the "I'm still mad at my husband" mental file in the shredder. Why? Because it was preventing me from forgiving my husband, letting it go, and moving forward. If I don't let it go, I'll let my plans for subtle and blatant retaliation settle in my heart, and at the opportune time, I'm going to execute that plan. Why can't I trust my feelings, and how do I work through getting over how I feel to get to forgiveness? There is an amazing book called the Bible that says the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? You can't trust your own emotions, and you can't always trust how you feel. Your heart has its own agenda. And when it is not submitted to God, we'll let it run rampant with this deceitful, wicked way of doing things. And trust me, that will include not forgiving your husband. Now, maybe you can deal with your choice not to forgive on your lonesome, but more likely than not, you'll need to talk to your husband. Forgiveness does not mean sweeping the issue under the rug. It does not mean avoid addressing what has been done. You'll need to verbalize your grievances and work through to a resolution. Resolve that thing. It might take an hour or two, a day or two, however long, it's important that a resolution is reached. Lastly, Proverbs 14:12 says, "There is a way which seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death." Most of us are always going to think we're 100% right in a matter. That's not going to help get to a resolution. Sometimes you need counsel in order to reach that resolution. Sometimes you need a mediator because you and your spouse are stubbornly refusing to forgive. But are you stuck in your own way of handling things? It can lead to death of intimacy, compassion, grace, mercy in your marriage. Lastly, a definition of forgive is to grant relief from payment of. Now, I don't know about you, but when I'm pissed, the last thing I want is for him to feel relief. I'm the one who was hurt. I should be relieved from the pain. But the crazy thing is, forgiving is what brings the ultimate relief, not holding it back. And I asked God to search my heart, and He showed me that sometimes I think forgiveness can be taken a little too far. And I don't want to look or feel foolish. If the husband cheats, yeah, there is a capacity to forgive him. God can move in conversations and counsel. He can heal the wound and He can do all of those things. But your pride is hurt now. You're embarrassed. and you're feeling hurt. All your friends are telling you, girl, don't take that food back. Your mama said there's other fish in the sea. The baker up the street heard from the barber what happened. He said, queen, I would treat you right. You don't deserve that. Your cousin just got divorced because her husband was cheating and because she's nobody's fool. And your dad said, baby, if you forgive that man, you'll regret it. What happens when forgiveness makes you look like a fool? These are some of the challenges we face when it comes to forgiveness in marriage. We'll do anything to feel justified within ourselves, and in that, we may negate doing what it takes to fully forgive. I'm trying to learn the principle of forgiving quickly. This is challenging because we often linger in our feelings. On the flip side, don't you want to be forgiven quickly? Do you like how it feels when someone holds something over you that you've done? It hurts even more when you are genuinely trying to make amends and change, but your spouse won't let it go. Newlies, tell me if there's ever been a time when your feelings got in the way of forgiving your husband. Or I'd love to hear of a time when you made the choice to forgive despite what you felt. And stay tuned for the next video where we'll be talking about the benefits of forgiveness. Until next week, much love to you, and I'll catch you next time right here on Forever Newlywed.